Intro credit to Seth Fifield. Hello everybody, this is your paint-covered host, Painter Zach, and today's subreddit is r/ChoosingBeggars. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode. This story's called Choosy Beggar Maid of Honor Bridesmaid. Background: my wife had lots of friends growing up throughout school. They continued into adulthood with less frequency as normal, however, when we started dating, they ghosted her. Apart from a few work friends and her best friend. To my surprise, her best friend was my cousin's ex-girlfriend. When I was 14, she'd moved up from north at 16 and lived at my grand's house with my cousin and aunt. During this time, my grandmother used to complain she was eating all the food, smoking all the cigarettes she bought my cousin, and call her a user. She was always a pleasant girl and we were somewhat friendly. Fast forward to the post-engagement, my wife asked her to be the maid of honor, my wife's sister and a close friend to be bridesmaids. So we of course paid for all their outfits, shoes, dresses, accessories, and we were paying for their hair and makeup to be done. The lovely bridesmaid then offered to do the makeup as a wedding gift to us, knowing how expensive wedding makeup is, and she's a professional beauty therapist the same as my wife. Everything falls into place and is going excellently. We are getting married 2 hours away and offered to pay for the wedding party's rooms. However, my father-in-law said he'd pay for his and my wife's sister's. He also gave us money toward the wedding as he was a traditional type. My brother said he'd pay for his and my father's. My mother's sadly not with us anymore, and my brother's girlfriend was home in Portugal for medical training, not available in the UK at the time. So we paid for 2 nights for mother-in-law's room, maid of honor, my room for the night before the wedding, bridal suite was included in the wedding package, and the photographer's room. Lovely bridesmaid insists on paying her own room, saying she's honored to be part of the wedding. All is fine. The maid of honor is a single mom with a 12-year-old son. She doesn't work and is on a pretty damn low state benefits. Over the course of the year, she starts talking to a guy online in New York. And she managed to talk another friend into paying for her ticket to go visit this guy roughly 3 weeks before the proposed hen-do she was meant to be planning and had picked the activities but not booked anything. And she messages lovely bridesmaid to ask her to do it instead as she's too busy. She flies to New York to meet this dream man, comes home 2 weeks later and messages my wife to say she can't afford to go to the hen-do as the activities cost £75 and she doesn't have money. Wifey was upset, so I offered to pay for her share and my wife's share, as maid of honor had said she'd cover both of theirs but spent all her money while visiting dreamy New Yorker. I felt compelled to do what I could to make my wife's hen-do special, as I'd went with 8 friends to Prague for mine, with my best man covering my share. He wouldn't let me pay, and all my friends had covered their own share. And her friends couldn't afford to go away, so it was in our home city of Edinburgh. Hen-do comes and goes. Choosing beggar comes, but drinks only the free table drinks and eats the free meal. Wife-to-be has a great night, and lovely bridesmaid has organized lots of great things and made gifts, put a lot of thought into the night to make it special. I made a joke about how lovely bridesmaid should be the maid of honor. A joke I fully meant seriously, and my wife said I was right, but she couldn't do that to Choosing Beggar and asked her to step down. Later that week, Choosing Beggar phones in tears as she has no money and no food for her child, and her benefits are 4 days away. I gave wife-to-be my credit card and told her to take her food shopping and to get some food for her and the kid, and that she didn't have to pay us back. Note, this is a week after returning from New York. She spends a small amount, around £40 from memory. This was summer 2018, a month before the wedding. I don't remember exactly how much. 2 weeks later, dreamy New Yorker flies to Edinburgh to live with Choosing Beggar. Choosing Beggar asks if he can be added to the guest list to come with her son and her. We of course said yes, and let the wedding planner know and paid for the extra meal. Now the week of the wedding arrives. She sends a photo of Dreamy in his new suit for the wedding. A Viking-looking mofo in a baby blue suit, like Dumb and Dumber if you know the movie. But hey, it's all good. We say we can't wait to meet him in person, etc. 2 days before the wedding, Choosing Beggar phones and says Dreamy has looked at hiring a car to come to the wedding, but he can't afford it, so we will need to give him a lift there and back. I said to wife-to-be that I had plans for us after the wedding that we could take them down, then drop them off at the train station the day everyone's going home. I sent her a screenshot of the train cost. It was £24 for all 3 of them to get home. She calls back 20 minutes later saying she can't pay this and we should pay it since we can't bring them back after all. I refused. She'd gotten to the end of my tether in helping her, and she now had this man from New York who surely didn't come here with no money and no job. He's an artist. So now she refuses to come to the wedding, saying it's unfair as we're paying for everyone to get their hair done, but she doesn't need hers done because she has dreadlocks, so we were being unfair to her. And that lovely bridesmaid is doing the makeup, so don't be cheap. My wife hangs up, crying her eyes out, but she also refuses to pay for it, having grown increasingly sick of being used by Choosing Beggar with the hen do, the shopping, all the wedding expenses for her to be so ungrateful. So I WhatsApp the maid of honor saying wife-to-be is upset and that we can't afford to pay for the train, unfortunately. She messaged back saying, "It's only $24, you have the money, you have your own business." I replied, a little irate, saying, "We've paid for everything else for you. I'm sorry, but if it's only £24, I'm sure Dreamy can afford it too. He didn't come 5,000 miles with no money, surely." She then calls me, screaming down the phone, "F you, how dare you ask him to pay to be part of your wedding? He spent money on a suit, it's not his job to pay for it." I asked why it's my job to pay for it then, and she just screams, "F you, you're a freaking fat prick. I wouldn't come now even if you pay for it. Go F yourself and wifey can go F herself too," and hangs up. So I was in the wrong for expecting this guy who wasn't even invited and I've never met for him to pay for himself and his new family to get home from the wedding, when we've paid for literally every other penny associated and more. Once wifey stops crying, she phones lovely bridesmaid and asks if she will be maid of honor and explains the situation. Lovely bridesmaid says it would be amazing, but also if she does still want Choosing Beggar to be maid of honor, they would hire a bigger car to take them all home. They have a very small hatchback. We said no, she's no longer welcome. We'd like you to be maid of honor instead. It should have always been you since the hen do. Lovely bridesmaid's fiance came to my stag do in Prague, having only met me a handful of times, and we became great friends. And I promised him I'd try to get lovely bridesmaid turned into maid of honor as she deserved it. So he knew we really wanted this and just didn't have the heart to ask Choosing Beggar to step down. In just 24 hours, she managed to create a bridal box for my wife with lots of little de-stress items like sleep spray, calming tea, nice chocolates, etc. for the night before the wedding, and stayed with her in the bridal suite watching movies and talking. Wedding day comes and she gets up and gives a heartfelt, emotional, and funny as hell speech she managed to write after being asked. Although she stole my cheesy joke about even the cakes being in tears. The wedding goes fantastically. The wedding planner, the day before the wedding, rearranged the tables to remove the extra places, and had our custom seating plan reprinted with lovely bridesmaid at the top table with us. No one missed Choosing Beggar at all. And he includes some additional info at the end. Non-Americanisms, hen do equals bachelorette party, stag do equals bachelor party. This is what we call it in UK. Man, it's always a rough time when someone you think is your best friend doesn't really give a crap about you. Now, I don't mean to get all woe is me on you guys, but happened to me recently. My heart is broken by my best friend. But yeah, I feel really bad for the wife-to-be or the bride, whatever you want to call her, because that's always rough. That's always really rough, especially once you do so much for them. Like, you can tell that these people genuinely cared about their friends because they paid for her groceries. We all need a lovely bridesmaid in our lives, and we all need to be a lovely bridesmaid in other people's lives, you know? You gotta be what you want to receive, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure there's a cliche there. Oh, duh. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Haha, golden rule. Also, gotta appreciate the inclusion of the little glossary at the end. However, the only European wedding term I'm interested in is prima nocta. This story's called, You're Gonna Take Care of Our Dog Every Day for Free. I've known this couple for a long time, 4+ years. We are friends, but I don't see or speak to them that often, maybe once a month, if not less. They decided to buy a puppy. The guy asked if I could babysit the puppy occasionally since they both work full-time and the pup needs constant monitoring. Let me add that a random dog walker or sitter around here costs around 15 euros for 2 30-minute walks. I have done it in the past for the same amount. A puppy needs to go out every 3 to 4 hours during day and night. They just bought a house and don't have the money to hire a sitter. I said it was fine as long as I had the time, and I specifically said that it would be fine if it happened occasionally, like once or twice a month, and I'll do it for free. So, enter the puppy. She's super cute, but also really a handful and needs constant attention. She also playfully bit my hand and punctured my skin. I mean, it's a pit bull Stafford mixed pup, so she has a lot of jaw power going on. Because of this, I don't feel comfortable leaving her alone in a room with my cats. These past 2 weeks, I've had her over 3 times, including one overnight stay, so the couple could go to a rave. So here is the choosing beggar part. Last time they came to pick up the pup, the girl made some weird comments. My cat went over to the dog bowl to eat some dog food. I reacted quick and stopped her. The girl said, "You can pack that up. I don't think the puppy will eat it anyways." I should have said something, but decided to ignore her and didn't pack the food up as she had commanded. The guy was jokingly telling my significant other how he was disappointed at my significant other because he's not a beer guy. And the girl said, "Honey, be nice. We need him to take care of the pup while we work." My significant other and I looked a bit dumbfounded. We haven't had any conversations about the puppy staying here during their work days. I joked that my significant other won't be much help since he works full-time himself. So the conversation went on about other stuff until at some point she asked if I wanted a dog bed at my house for the pup, since it's her second house and she needs some place to relax when she's over. I told them that the pup had destroyed my charger cord. Their reaction was, "That's why our house is puppy-proof." So no offer to buy me a new cord or anything. The boiling point came when I asked how they plan to go on vacation. There are a lot of prohibitions concerning the dog's breed in the neighboring countries. She said, "We'll stay in the country or we'll drop off at your house." Again, this wasn't a question. She was stating it as if she's doing me a favor. So the annoyance is really overwhelming at the moment. They haven't thanked me once for taking care of the pup, and it seems like they have the idea that just because the pup is very cute and because of my love for animals, they can dump the pup at my house whenever they like. I'm also really mad at the fact that they got a puppy while they clearly don't have the time and money for it. I'm not a pushover, so I won't be taking care of the dog anymore. Alright, and they include an update. I got a call from the guy today. He said he thought we agreed upon me taking care of the puppy whenever they couldn't. I said I was very clear on the fact that I'm not able to because I'll go back to working full-time from January on. He said, "You can do 2 days a week?" I said no. He mentioned paying for it, and I gave him the number of someone who offers the service. He said that it was a misunderstanding about his girlfriend's comments. I said fine. Extra update. So I texted them a website specifically dedicated to puppy service in our town. It's like Craigslist, but just for puppies and puppy sitters. I still get notifications from that website when there's a new profile added. So I woke up this morning with a notification of their profile which stated, "Our sitter turned out to be unreliable, so we are looking for a sitter ASAP." I'm utterly disgusted by this, so I texted them that they can delete my number. I'm thankful for human nature because you can pretty reliably separate the good people from the bad people by doing them favors and gauging their response to those favors. And of course, there are those manipulative jerks that make you think you're appreciated, but there are a lot fewer of those than there are, those unadulterated jerks. Also, we finally found a Redditor that's not a pushover. This story's called, "How Dare You Gift Him Less Free Money Than Everyone Else?" Holidays are lovely, and I think they bring out the best choosing beggars. Saturday, we celebrated Christmas with my husband's mom's side of the family. his parents are divorced. At this particular side of the family's events, there is always some type of drama, and Christmas did not fail to deliver. His grandparents are retired and well off, and they are absolutely lovely people that I adore. They don't bother with shopping and gift all their grandchildren a card with money in it. They drop $50 a kid, and that adds up pretty quickly. Husband, me, his brother's long-term 6-year girlfriend, sister, cousin 1, cousin 2, etc. Last year, I was surprised and happy to get a card, and it had $30 in it. I noticed my then boyfriend, not married yet, got $50, but it was also the first holiday I ever spent with these people. I was expecting nothing except food. Again, I was happy to get anything, and I also got presents from the rest of the family, which was nice. Well, this year, I noticed Auntie Kay had pulled Gramps to the side, and it looked like they were arguing. To add to this, Auntie Kay's 30-plus-year-old daughter, with her 6-month-old child, was pouting on the couch with her baby daddy, that we all have only met for the second time after Thanksgiving. They have an on-again, off-again relationship, and they were pouting the entire time gifts were exchanged. While Auntie and Gramps were arguing in the hall, cousin and baby daddy had stormed out and were sitting in their minivan crying. Like I said, always drama. The problem? Gramps had only given baby daddy, that we don't even know, $30 instead of $50 like everyone else. They were both crying because he didn't get enough free money. I quietly mentioned to my husband that last year I received the same thing, as a stranger to the family, and was genuinely shocked I got a crisp $50 bill this year. Yay, I guess they like me. I hope this story brings you guys as much laughter as me. I pointed out how absurd it was that Auntie chewed out Gramps for that, and I'm hoping that next year, that side gets an empty card from the grandparents as a message. They are pretty cool like that, so it just might happen. Fingers crossed. Present greed is so annoying and gross, man. Like, honestly, the Redditor here is right. You should be thankful that you're getting anything, but obviously I don't need to tell you guys that because you're not entitled like that. I remember one year, my girlfriend's family let me celebrate Christmas with them, and I didn't expect any gifts, but they got me like a cookbook, because I like cooking, an Italian flag, because I love Italy so much. It's so beautiful and great there. And Italians are cool. And also some Spider-Man stuff, because the first time I went over to her house, I brought the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. I had a collector's edition, or still have it. And I made them watch the first 2 Spider-Man movies with me. And it was a cute little throwback, and I wasn't really expecting anything at all, so it was really nice. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.